What up, y'all? Okay, so I didn't check out this article like on my own, so this is going to be more so like us going through it together. So just keep that in mind. But Nixon owned game studio enters indefinite strike over employee bonuses allegedly being slashed while executive bonuses increase, which is happening in pretty much every sector of business right now. Like I don't know how many people was alive that are in gaming right now that like lived through the what I normally call it The Big Short, just put specifically because of the movie. And I know that my family was homeless like after that incident. Like we went homeless like after the dot-com bust, as well as the subprime loan bust or the real estate bubble bust. And like in that scenario, when like the government bailed them out, like a lot of those CEOs of those big banks, they pocketed a lot of that money instead of actually, feeding other people, as well as a bunch of banks went out of business during that time, like Bear Stearns and all of them. Well, they were more so an investment firm, but you know what I mean. So Neeple, the developer of Dungeon Fighters Online and the first Berserker Kazan, great game right here. Great game. That and what was that fighting game that they released? Dungeon Fighters, I think is what they called it. I can't remember. But both of those great spin-off games announced that it would expand the scope of its strike. God dang, this is crazy though. So the striker at Neeple, the studio behind the multi-billion-dollar Dungeon Fighter franchise, has intensified as reported by This Is Game. Employees of the Nixon-owned subsidiary started organizing walkouts 5 days a week, as opposed to 3 starting July 31st. So they've been going at this for at least a good week right now. The strike has no set end date and is intended to last until management agrees to clearly explain how performance bonuses are calculated. And this is kind of interesting when you think about it, because let alone like the whole multi-billion-dollar Dungeon Fighter franchise. Think about that. Because I think this game was out when I was in middle school. Because I remember people playing this game while I was in middle school. A multi-billion-dollar franchise. Like, and you telling me that, and on top of that, like, the microtransactions for Dungeon Fighters got to be insane now that I'm thinking about it. Because when you think about it, the game is free to play, quote unquote, you know? So that means that a lot of the money that they bringing in are either from whales or from individuals that actually want to purchase some of those in-game microtransactions. And somehow it totaled up to be multi-billion dollars, which is insane to me. And then on top of that, they also released the first Berserker Kazan, which I think did pretty well. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know the sales on it, but I think it did pretty well, especially if you take a look at a lot of the content creation that has been around that game. You take a look at the Souls-like community on like Reddit and all that. Like a lot of people rant and rave about that game. Sales figures, sales numbers, I'll be 100% honest, don't know. But amongst the community that it was aiming for, it's loved, it's beloved, you know? So with all that being said though, if a company is making this much money and yet the performance bonuses are still not adding up to what they think, it kind of reminds me about that situation that happened like back at Activision Blizzard. Well, back at Activision when it was around the time of when Modern Warfare like released, and then the CEO of Activision at the time, like he didn't want to pay them their bonuses that they got for meeting the sales metrics that they had set for the bonuses to be, distributed. And so instead of paying them, like the people that were originally at Infinity Ward, they just dipped out. They dipped out and they went and made Respawn Interactive, which made some amazing games from Titanfall to Star Wars, the Star Wars Jedi series. Amazing games. And then I think also Apex Legends, which I don't play, but people love it. So I get it. I get it. But even with all that, so Dungeon Fighter Online is one of the highest grossing games. I don't need to. God, that 22 bill. God, yams. Uh, Dungeon Fighter Online is one of the highest grossing games of all time. Total lifetime revenue 22 billion USD as of 2024. That's just 2024. That's not even accounting the money that first Berserker Kazan made or anything else. But Nippon employees are not happy about how much they're being paid, especially against the company's strong financial performance. The union claims, oh, so they got a union. Y'all should be having a union fight this battle for y'all then. But then again, sometimes the union slip up, and some people in the union they get their pockets filled, and they just try to tell the rest of the people like, "Hey, we don't need to fight about this, guys. Come on now, come on, go ahead and get back to real, yeah." The union claims that even when employees get the same performance evaluations, some receive far less bonus payouts than others. The OPEC system has raised suspicions about employees' personal relationships with managers, potentially influencing pay. Okay, so it's like what I said. That's insane. All right. They also accused Neeple of arbitrarily cutting a bonus meant for the Dungeon Fighter mobile team by 30%. Oh, so Dungeon Fighters have a mobile game. Oh, yeah, that's where they making the money. That's where they making the money. The mobile team should be making a mint. Because mobile players, they do not care how they spend their money. They're going to spend it. Team by 30%, while at the same time giving these company executives a combined $20 million last year. God dang. That's 3 executives. You cut that pie by 3. That's at least like what? Like 6.775 or 6.8 mil a piece? That's crazy. Let's just say about 7 mil a piece. But god dang, that's crazy. Which is 10 times more than the annual year before. 10 times more. So the year before they got 2 mil. The year after they gave themselves 20 mil. Oh, y'all hustling. They scummy and they hustling the best out of their employees. And that's crazy because it's going to like the top 1% of the company. They're all like, yeah, them employees bumped them guys. They want their bonuses. They're not getting them. The union comments that this has severely damaged the motivation and the development team members and Neeple's employees. On the same day, the union announced the expanded strike. Neeple said it will hand out about 44 million USD in bonuses to the Dungeon Fighter mobile team. And that's exactly what I was saying. It should go to the mobile team. If the mobile team is bringing in that much revenue, somebody got to get broken off a little bit. Around 400 developers will get an average of double their annual salary. What is their annual salary? So what is that? 44 mil. So, and that's 44 mil in bonuses to the 400 developers. And if you I think I put that in wrong. Oh no, I didn't. My calculator just ended up on the wrong side of the screen. So if you do 44 M's divided by 400 people, that's at least an additional 110K per person. It's not going to get distributed like that at all. It all depends on what position you have at the company. Some people could be getting paid 60K depending on what they are, which will probably be anywhere between like artists, technical artists, or anything of that particular nature. Actually, no, I believe technical artists get paid like somewhere between 80 to 100K a year USD. Artists get paid anywhere between 40 to 60K, I believe. Programmers, like, their pay is going down with the boom of the AI because people don't value programmers as much as they used to, which is absolutely insane to me. But they used to get paid upwards of 6 figures. Now it's going down. Like, I think some programming jobs that I've seen recently like have been like 80K. So I don't know. It's insane. But both sides started meeting the oh my bad, I jumped ahead, apologies. But around 400 developers would get an average of double their annual salary, with top performers getting triple. This comes after an initial payout in February worth around 70 million, meaning the team will receive bonuses totaling more than 5 times their yearly pay. Hold up, what? This comes after an initial payout in February worth around 70 million, meaning the team will receive bonuses totaling more than 5 times their yearly pay. Hold up, so they paid out bonuses in February? Comes after an initial payout in February worth around 70 million, which means they would, oh, so they're about to get paid. essentially. So they must have skipped February, if I'm reading that correctly. They skipped February. And then now when it comes around, so does that mean it's going to be 114 million that's about to get paid out? Or am I reading this wrong? Either way, if they get paid, they get paid. That's how I'm looking at it. Correct me in the comment section down below, because I ain't gonna lie, this part is tripping me up a little bit. Because in my mind, it'll make me think that, because I know that some jobs do it, like my job did it before, like sometimes they'll miss like the bonus payment window, and then in missing the bonus payment window, it'll come later, but then it'll come later at an increased amount. So would their increased amount be like the 44 mil that they're also going to add to the 70 mil that was already missed, or would it be a little bit more? Just let me know, because I could be confusing that. Both sides started meeting for negotiations from August 1st, initiated by Neeple. The company says it wants to settle the dispute and keep game services running smoothly, while the union maintains that there will be no concessions on the matter of directly distributing operating profits to employees. That's crazy. They basically said, hey, yo, y'all tried to hustle a hustler, and we ain't going. Y'all gave yourselves 20 million against the three of y'all. Where's our cut? Where's our money? Which is still insane. It always, and I get it a little bit, but it always amazes me that of how much CEOs make. And I used to tell people this all the time, like it was like my first IT job. I accidentally went into, well, I can't say accidentally went into, because I had access to it myself, but I had access to like view the financials of like the company and see how much everybody was getting paid. And this is when I realized I was getting severely underpaid compared to everybody else, especially with the amount of work that I was doing. And I ain't gonna lie, it made me jaded, and then I dipped out from that company. But so I had saw where everybody was making. CEO was making mid six figures. By mid six figures, I mean half a mil, right? The heads of like the department I was making upper 100K, right? So like approaching like 200,000. And like the other guys that was working with me on the team, they was making almost six figures. I was only making like 35K. When I saw that, I was like, all right, bro, I gotta go. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go somewhere else. And with that, I can honestly see how, like, just looking at it from the employee side, not the employer, the employee side, right? I can see how that would piss off employees, especially when you're busting your butt. You're in there, blood in, blood out, day in, day out, and they're not like, you don't feel like you're getting your just due. You're gonna feel some type of way. You're gonna feel jaded. And with that being said, I hope the employees at Neeple, they get what they deserve, especially if they're increasing profits and revenues for the company year to year. They need their cake. Give them, pay them, especially that mobile division, because even though I won't say it's necessarily easy, because selling any type of product is very difficult, but they're convincing players to buy things that literally have no value. Literally have no value. It is something that is incredibly intangible. It does not it does not improve the quality of your life. It doesn't do anything. It's sheerly entertainment that you could either put down and go pick up a different thing that don't charge you that exorbitant fee. But they're paying for it because they want to support that company. They want that thing that's in that game. Sheerly out of want, sheerly out of supply and demand is the reason why they're purchasing it. So with that being said, pay them people their money, man, because they're doing a good job in convincing those customers to buy these things that are legitimately of no value. And with that being said, we're going to end this one off right here. If you got any questions or anything you want to talk about this down in the comment section below, let me know. Until next time I catch you, deuces.